Hi, this is Gloria Heck with Remax Direct, and today we're going to be reviewing part 2 of tips that you need to prepare yourself to be a first-time home buyer. So hang on! So our first tip, what does a home inspector look for when they're reviewing a home? They are looking at so many different things involved in your home. They're going to check major flaws that might need to be fixed. After all, a house may look like it's in great condition, but sometimes appearances can be deceiving. A home inspection can help a buyer, provided that you have a home inspection as a contingency in your offer. You can renegotiate with the seller to fix a certain problem or even lower the price. If the problems are more than you want to handle, let's talk about a faulty foundation or a roof caving in, you could walk away from the deal and you still get to keep your deposit. So a home inspector is going to look at a multitude of different things. They're going to be looking at the grounds. They're going to be looking at electrical. They're going to be looking at plumbing. They'll make sure that the toilets are flushing properly, that there are no leaks. They'll be reviewing all of the appliances in the home. They will be reviewing the roof to see what the condition is of the roof. They're also going to be looking at doors and windows. They're going to be looking at defects. They'll be looking at moisture spots. They'll be looking at the fascia of the outside of the house. They'll be looking for any kinds of leaks and crawl spaces. They're going to be checking out gutters, chimneys, skylights. They're going to be looking at windows. They're going to be making sure that your AC and your water heater are working. Plus, they're also going to be looking at the electrical system to make sure that everything is in working condition. The inspectors are great because typically what they do is they put together this great report that details all of the issues that you need to be concerned with. And once you get the report, you're able to have a very good idea of the true condition of the home. And that'll give you an idea of whether you really want to move forward with the house, or again, you may be able to get some credit on some of those repairs. So an inspection is very, very important when purchasing a home. And I highly recommend that you get an inspection done. I know sometimes people will waive the inspection contingency, but unless the house looks like it's in excellent condition or you're madly in love with the house, I would never waive the inspection contingency. Okay, so that's the next step once your offer has been accepted. So after the inspection takes place, the next step is the appraisal. The appraisal process can impact your mortgage payment. If you've applied for a mortgage, your home to be still has to undergo a very comprehensive appraisal for its worth. And an unfavorable home appraisal can really kill a real estate deal. It can be pretty nerve-wracking. Just because you and the seller have agreed on a purchase price doesn't mean it's a done deal. Your lender needs to be on board too. After all, it's the lender's real estate investment as well as yours. To get the mortgage, you'll need a home appraisal because the home serves as collateral for your lender. If for some reason you end up unable to make your mortgage payments, the lender will have to foreclose on your home, then sell the property to recoup their costs. So your mortgage lender will have to know the value of your home before handing over that large chunk of change and financing you. Well, the home appraisal process is similar to taking a look at the comps. It's a little different. the appraiser is going to delve very deep into determine the home's exact value. An appraiser will investigate the condition, the square footage, location, and any additions or revisions. From there, he or she will appraise the home and determine its value. Whoever takes out the mortgage pays for the home appraisal. As the home buyer, you'll be paying for the home appraisal. In most cases, the fee is wrapped into your closing cost and will cost between $400 to $700. The client of the appraiser is the lender. This ensures that the appraiser remains ethical. In fact, it's a crime to coerce or put any pressure on appraiser to hit a certain value. Appraisers must remain independent. If your appraisal comes in lower than what you offer, this is where things get a little tricky. Your lender won't lend more money than the appraised value. So if you and the sellers agree on $125,000, but the appraisal comes in at $105,000, it creates a $20,000 shortfall. If the appraisal process happens and your appraisal comes in low and your contract with the seller was contingent on an appraisal, you could walk away and have your earnest money returned. But if you really love the house and you prefer to buy the house anyway, or you waived your appraisal contingency, there are other paths you can pursue. You can come up with the cash to cover the difference between the appraisal and the offer price, or you can ask the seller to cover the difference. You can also challenge the appraisal and pay for a second opinion. But keep in mind that your new appraisal could come out identical. Also keep in mind that if you do choose to walk away, it's actually good news, although it may not seem like that at the time. Why? Because the appraisal kept you from paying too much for the home. So the next question is, how much are closing costs? Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you purchased property before, if you get a mortgage to buy a home, you'll have to pay closing costs. These are fees paid to a third party to help facilitate the sale of a home. Typically, they're between 2 to 6% of the home's purchase price. After saving up to purchase a new home, getting pre-approved, making a down payment, it's hard for buyers to accept that they'll have additional out-of-pocket expenses. But you are not the only one. Sellers also have to cover closing costs. Although buyers shoulder the lion's share of the loan, 3 to 4% of the home's price compared to sellers 1 to 3%. And while some expenses must be paid up front before the home is officially sold, such as the home inspection and appraisal, others like property taxes and homeowners insurance are recurring. Most are paid at the end when you close on the house and the keys exchange hands. If you're paying cash for a property, there are still a few closing costs, but they are significantly less. Costs money to get money. So here are some of the fees that a home buyer should brace themselves to pay. All right, get ready. You'll pay a loan origination fee, which lenders charge for processing the paperwork for your loan, a fee for running your credit, a fee to underwrite and assess your creditworthiness, a fee for the appraisal of the home, which we explained earlier. You also will have a fee for the inspection, which we also discussed. You'll have a fee for a title search to unearth whether any liens are on the property that could interfere with your home ownership of this property. You'll need title insurance to protect the lender and the buyer from claim against the home and the property. You'll need to have a survey. You are also going to be paying taxes, which are called stamp taxes. And this is on the money you borrowed for your home loan. If you're putting less than 20% down, you're going to pay private mortgage insurance. You will also pay discount points or mortgage points, which are fees. They're paid right to the mortgage lender in exchange for getting a lower interest rate. One-time fees may also include document recording fees for the deed and the mortgage. You have to make an escrow deposit once your offer is accepted. That's going to be managed by a third party, usually the title agent. You're going to have to pay 2 months of prepaid property taxes and mortgage insurance payment. The seller is going to pay a closing fee. They're going to pay title insurance. They're going to pay attorney's fees. They're going to pay taxes. And they are going to be paying a fee to transfer the title to the new owner. That's what the seller is paying. It doesn't seem like it's much that the seller is paying compared with the future homeowner. But what you're not having to pay, that the seller has to pay, are the real estate commissions. The real estate commissions are going to be between 4 and 6% of the home's sales price. So ask your mortgage lender to give you closing costs. You should get a closing document 3 days before closing, and make sure to compare that document to the document that the lender gave you earlier. You want to make sure that all the numbers line up. Sometimes there are errors. People make mistakes, so you want to make sure that there's no surprises with the numbers on closing day. So number 9, what to be aware of for the final walkthrough of the home. So before you go and you sign all the papers, you're going to need to do a walkthrough of the home. So typically what happens with the walkthrough is you're going to check everything in the home. You're going to make sure that all the lights turn on. You want to make sure that the appliances are still working. You want to make sure that anything that the seller said that they would repair is in fact repaired. Also want to get some copies of receipts, of invoices on those repairs, so you can also see who made those repairs and have a record of that. You are going to turn everything on. You're going to flush the toilet. You're going to turn the shower on. You want to make sure that all the outlets are working. You want to make sure that the house is in the condition that you were expecting it to be. And if there is any problem, then it's your chance to negotiate with the seller a credit for whatever needs to be repaired. So you want to make sure that they repaired or fixed what they said they're going to repair. And if there's a problem with the house, they're writing a check to you at closing to cover the repairs that need to be made. So for example, if you were promised an item that is no longer there, this could present a problem. Basically, anything connected to the home by plugs or pipes should stay. Or if the seller intended to keep something other than their furniture and their personal belongings, it should be specified in the contract. Swapping out something that was very nice for something mediocre is not okay. And you have every right to demand that that item be reinstated before the home changes hands. The house should be broom clean, okay? So it's not going to be spotless. It's just broom swept. All right? So that's what happens when you are doing the walkthrough, the final completion. One of the things that you need to do before moving into your new home is making sure you do repairs and painting first. I know you're tempted to be moving everything in, but it's so much easier to make sure that you've painted and you've cleaned and you've repaired whatever needs to be repaired before movers start lugging in boxes and placing heavy furniture. It's just too hard to move all that stuff. So it's my recommendation that you do your painting and your repairs first. That way you're skipping a bunch of headaches. You will not have headaches afterwards. You may have headaches afterwards, but it avoids some of the headaches that you could have. The other thing that you need to do is change the locks. As soon as you get a chance, hire a locksmith to change all the locks in the house. Don't forget the back entrance or any other access points. Well, I'm sure the seller is trustworthy. You never know who might have keys to your new home. Better to be safe than sorry. And doors aren't the only locks that need to be changing. If you are buying into a community mailbox that has a key, you probably want to pay $40 to $50 to get a new key through the postal service. Better safe than sorry. And don't forget your utilities. You need to make sure that you turn on your utilities, your electricity, your water, your cable, if you're going to have cable. So utilities are very important. Make sure that is turned on. And you also want to make sure you give a notice to the U.S. Postal Service so they know to forward all your mail to your new home. And don't forget to find out where the best takeout places are so that you can find a place to eat and have a celebration to enjoy being in your new home. Congratulations, you're finished until it's time to sell, that is. In the meantime, though, it's time to resume what this whole journey is all about. Enjoying your new amazing home. So there you have it. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to find out more about what's going on in South Florida, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything.